the various the eras, what we call. So initially we had an agriculture revolution, then followed by industrial revolution, and then digital revolution for past few years, and now people are talking about industry 4.0. So the entire workforce has been divided into three types of labors. When we talk about the entire workforce, the first one is a physical labor, and then next is cognitive labor, and next is emotional labor. When you look into the pyramid shape, so physical labor at the bottom, and then the middle is cognitive, and then next is emotional labor. So in physical labor, again, just to mention you, there are three steps wherein the people who does the manual work, that means who carry the material, will get a lowest salary. Similarly, skilled persons like carpenters or masons, and also the people who is the head of the mason or head of the carpenter, who does the precision work, get a more money. So I'm talking about, when we talk about physical labor, there are three types depending upon the skill, depending upon the type of work they do, they get paid. So next is a cognitive labor. We all comes under cognitive labor. The people who does memorize and reproduce the things is the least in cognitive labor, wherein take the case of the bus conductor, wherein he has to remember from one place to another place, how much ticket he has to cut and then take the money. So he has to memorize and he has to do the work. So his job is mostly on memorizing the things. Next is the people who works on analysis, whether it is a data or whether it is a situation, they analyze and give the solutions. So that is his job. So that is in the second stage. Next is the people who does the optimization work, particularly who are working in various organizations. Suppose a software company wherein the person who is working or writing the coding in Amazon, wherein you can see, like, when you're trying to book a shoe in an Amazon website, and if you don't book and come to like Yahoo Mail or Gmail, again a pop-up comes out, the price or discount of the shoe which you are looking at. So the people who does optimize the things and get coded and do the coding and analyze, they comes under people in the optimization. Next is the people who are in the top, in the top 5 in the company, wherein they always think about the creative, how to take the company or organization to the next level by doing a critical thinking, and they always works towards the vision of the organization. So they get paid more. So now people, as we know that when we are talking about the mechanization of industries happening, automation, right? Even the recent ChatGPT. So work, that means human intervention is becoming less, and even with a lot of work is getting done by very few number of people. So these people are getting stressed. And if you take any industry, so these people needs to get taught by the people who teach the ethics, purpose, relation, awareness, who will create the awareness and other things. So these people comes under emotional labor, what we call. So emotional labor, it seems in future emotional labor gets paid more than the other roles of the so this is the entire scenario of the workforce currently in the world. So initially, when people wanted to recruit, people are talking about IQ. We know that IQ is an intelligent quotient, and later people start, so IQ is only one parameter, and so is the slides are moving, sir? Somebody please answer. So is the slides moving, sir? Can you able to hear?
Yes, sir. Continue, sir. Yes, sir. Continue.
Okay, fine. So, so not only IQ, people are now talking about EQ and AQ. EQ is nothing but emotional level. So how well, you control your emotions in the working environment, So people are looking at it when they are
Sir,
recruiting.
sorry to disturb, sir. Sir,
Yes,
actually
sir.
slides are not moving, sir.
Oh, is it?
Yes, sir.
1 second. Yeah.
And also, if possible, please make full screen, sir.
Oh, 1
Yes, sir.
second. Maybe, yeah, maybe maybe I've shared the other one. So now, can you see?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yes, sir. Now, yeah, it is visible, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So this is what the previous slide is, and then yeah. Now when we when any of the organization recruits, people are talking about three things. Earlier, only IQ. A person is having a better IQ, they're recruiting. IQ is nothing but intelligent quotient. Now they are looking at another two things. One is the EQ and AQ. EQ is the emotional quotient, how well you control your emotions during the workplace is very important. So that's what HRs are gauging your EQ. And now the very important thing is AQ. So now people are talking about AQ. AQ is nothing but adaptability quotient. Adaptability quotient is nothing but whichever team you are working, or whichever place you are working, or whichever the circumstances you are working. So you have to quickly adopt these surrounding situations, not only the environment, physical environment, and it is about the environment with the surrounding people, very important. How quickly you adapt and contribute to the organization is very important. So now people are talking about along with IQ, EQ and AQ. So students must acquire the skills of both emotional quotient skills and also adaptability quotient skills. So when we see the employment change based on the Bureau of Labor Statistics all around the world. So earlier during 2017, most of the people, the things are declining, like legal secretaries, typists, data entry operators, electrical and electronic assemblers, postmasters. So these jobs are declining. But after the COVID, you can see home health aides, the nurses, practitioners, statisticians, software developers. So these security analysts, these jobs are becoming more and more nowadays. And future of work, if you see, risk of automation, we are able to see, and almost 14% of jobs could be automated, and 32% jobs are significantly reducing. And you can also see the labor market is transforming, and service sector is increasing. Manufacturing sector is getting down, and a lot of things are there already. So people are looking into service sector. Service sector is increasing rapidly. And many adults do not have jobs because they are not upgrading their skills. It is very important for the adults or whoever is getting aged should improve their skills for the current jobs or emerging jobs. So these are the very important points, particularly in the current generation. So anyway, with that background, innovation as becoming part and parcel of the day-to-day life, and the government of India is focusing a lot on innovation. That is why in higher educational institutions, MHRD started Institution Innovation Council as a part of Institution Innovation and Council, and a lot of activities are happening. And recently, that NIRF innovation ranking also they are giving for all the institutions. So what is innovation? Innovation is you have to think differently, creatively, and either you make solutions or inventions for creating impact on social, and it should create impact on social and economic value. And it should fulfill the needs of either the product or the process or some kind of form. And also moving beyond R&D, you need to come out with a new applications and new processes which will contribute to the society. So when we look into the global innovation index, it is a very important innovation index given all over the world every year. So we are in rank number 81 in the year 2015. So when we look into the recent rank in 2022, our rank is 40. So we almost jumped, rankings 41 notches in last few years, last 6-7 years. Okay, and this Global Innovation Index ranking are published annually by Cornell University and the UN World Intellectual Property Organization and JA Knowledge Partners. So how do they give this innovation index? So this GA rankings almost 131 economies based on 80 indicators. So they will look into 80 indicators, starting with what are the IP filing rates, patents you have filed, and how many number of mobile applications you have created, which impacted the society, and how much amount of money you are spending on education, and how many scientific and technical publications that are coming out from each country. They look into it. So based on these 80 parameters, they will give the ranking. It is very happy to note that our India is now in top 50. So for the last 6 years, we have changed tremendously, and our institution innovation and councils in all organizations also contributed and made impact on getting the Global Innovation Index ranking. So in this, you know that Switzerland is #1 in Global Innovation Index, followed by few other countries like Sweden, USA, UK, Netherlands, Finland, Denmark, Singapore, Germany, and Israel. So these are all based on the amount of money you're spending for the education and the patents you are filing, technical publications, and how much impact these innovations are created on the society. So finally, whatever innovation you do, the object is, you have to produce either a product or a service that are affordable by more people, particularly at low levels of income, and without compromising the quality. So this is the main objective of the innovation. So any innovation, I'm just giving you different examples on what I have worked. Any innovation, you have to, whether it is a product or process, you have to go with a thorough background study. So in my case, I'll tell you, one of the problem when I'm working in Government of India as a scientist, so they've given a problem that Northeast India, you know that it is prone to earthquake prone, and the housing, whatever they are traditionally having is a bamboo, and this bamboo housing need to be tested. So whatever the traditional bamboo houses are to be tested for earthquake performance. So this is the problem statement we have taken. So when we did the background study, so this house was already tested on shake table, which is at CPRI, and for different earthquake simulations. And similarly, number of models we have studied using the shock table and come out with a report. What I mean to say is, you need to thoroughly do the background study to come out with any kind of a product or a process. So when you look into the engineering design process of any product, so first thing is the stage one is you have to identify the design problem, and then next stage is you have to come out with a different concepts and ideas, and you have to optimize or compromise with either one solution or 2-3 solutions. Then based on the solutions, whatever you come out with, you have to make the models or prototypes, and then you have to do the production or working drawings, and then make the model and make the prototype, test it, and finally, if it satisfies all the requirements, you go for the regular production. So this is the basic engineering design process. So to do that, once you come out with a particular product, so anything you do, what we call is an experiment. Experiment is nothing but you construct and test to verify the concept and analysis of the design, whatever you have come out with, and whether it can be, you will check the workability, you will check the durability, how long it can, and also you will find out the performance characteristics of the particular product. So design on paper, whatever you've done, is transformed into a physical reality when you are doing. So that is nothing but the experiment. So experiment, when you wanted to experiment it, you need to go with the 3 techniques of construction. So one is the markup, second is the model, third what we call it is prototype. So there is a clear difference between the markup, model, and prototype. Let us see what is the difference between these 3, that is markup, model, and prototype. When it comes to the mock-up generally, small scale, product, which you construct using either with a plastic or wood or cardboard and so on and so forth. And in mock-up, you will check the clearance, what is the assembly technique, or what are the manufacturing considerations you have to look into it. And when you do the small one, you will at least come to know what is how the product looks like, what is the appearance of the product. And this is a very least expensive technique. So all the school children, whatever they do, these are all called mock-ups. And it provides also a least amount of information. But this mock-up will give you a quick and relatively easy information, and it is easy to build also. So this is what we call mock-up. And next is the model. Model we build usually to avoid the basic mistakes. So whatever picture you are seeing is a shake table. This is the world's largest shake table, wherein on this particular shake table, you will test, even the 7-story building using this shake table. Shake table is a 3-dimensional table. It moves in 3 directions. You can give any kind of earthquake input and test the model on this table. So this is a simple model you can see, wherein when you make the model, you can avoid the basic mistakes when you are really making the final product. So I'll show you one very interesting study as done. So what is mock-up and model, and what is the final one? So here we thought of making a bamboo pergola. Bamboo pergola is a small structure. So to do that, initially, this is a tensegrity structure with the ice sticks and with a thread. They have made the mock-up. You can see this is the mock-up created by the student. This is called what we call mock-up. So based on the mock-up, you can see the tensegrity structure able to take the load. So this is what the mock-up. So now I will talk about the model. So this is the model we have taken up. So this is a scaled model. So in place of pergola, we have made a computer table using the thread and then bamboo. In place of ice stick, we've used the bamboo, and in place of thread, we've used the jute rope. So we made the computer table. This is nothing but the tensegrity model of the table. So to make the table, we have analyzed properly, and then we have tested it and how much load it will take and so on. So this is what the difference between the mock-up and then model. So let us know about what is the features. What are the various features of the model? Model represents the physical system through a mathematical similitude or a true model. So again, in models, there are a number of types. True model is an exact geometric reproduction. You will build to scale, and it will satisfy all restrictions imposed in the design parameters. Adequate model is to test the specific characteristics of the design. Suppose if you want to test very few characteristics, you will go with the adequate model. Distorted model is purposefully you violate one or more design conditions and you make the model. So that's what we call it as a distorted model. And dissimilar model is, it will no apparent resemblance to real system, but through analogies, it gives accurate information on behavioral characteristics. You can see this is a small model we've done to measure the temperature inside a particular model. Okay, so we built with only few bricks. It's very small model. This is the scaled model. This is the next model wherein, so here you won't get, you cannot measure the temperature and humidity inside a particular model. It's a very small model. So next is little scaled model. You can see the difference between the previous one and now. So here almost 1:2 scale model we built when you take a room. So 1:2 built model we made. Even the windows and doors were scaled, and then we did measure the temperature and humidity inside to know the thermal comfort inside a particular building. And the next one is what we call is another one is a prototype, wherein you can see this prototype is exactly the dimensions scaled to the earlier model. So this was done again in one more place wherein we could measure the temperatures and humidity. So now we will see the features of the prototype. So I've told you what is mockup and what is model. Now I'm talking about the prototype. Prototype is the most expensive experimental technique, and it gives you most useful information. That means whatever the product that is coming out, you are exactly making same, but with a scale, or you have the entire features in that particular prototype. It will be constructed. Sometimes it is a full-scale working physical system, and it will learn about appropriate construction techniques, what you are following, what kind of assembly procedure you are going to do for the number of, suppose if you want to make number of products, so you need to understand what is the assembly procedure and how the workability, durability, and what is the performance under actual environmental conditions, you will come to know through the prototype. You can see this is a prototype built. So this was a 7-story wood building built on a shake table. This was I'm talking about. This is in Japan, Miki City. I was attended as a member damage inspection team in 2009, wherein here we have built full scale 60 feet by 40 feet apartment building, 7-story wood building, and then we have tested for its seismic performance. This is a US-Japan collaborative project sponsored by National Science Foundation, just like our DST, US having a National Science Foundation. It's a NSF funded project. So my professor from US, he is the principal investigator of this particular project. What I mean to say is, this is a full-scale 7-story apartment building built and then tested for its performance in various ways, and finally they have built the final houses at other places. What I mean to say. So this is where I involved, and after each test, we could able to check the damage, and we used to give the systematic representation and so on. And very interesting thing, when you are testing any kind of model or a product, you can see here, the crack pattern. So this is the first test carried out on 30th June, and then the next test, the crack progressed further. So we have denoted even with a different color. Anyway, whoever is having doubt at the end, I will answer. Somebody has raised the hand. I'll answer all your questions at the end of my presentation. And this is me, checking before the testing. Yeah. Okay, so the story goes on wherein in 2009 I was there, and I was attended as a member damage inspection team. I was mentioned. So I used to go from the place of hostel, wherein I put up in a hostel. From hostel to test place, I used to commute using bicycle. Wherein here you can see, then I started, working on, I started cycling later. And then during Corona, so I started pedaling the bicycle. I'll tell you the story why I've done this. So till now, I've cycled up to 12,000 kilometers. You can see some of the pictures. Yeah, and the longest is 600 kilometers. So why I did is to understand the parts of the bicycle, because I wanted to make a bamboo bicycle. So before that, I wanted to understand the performance of the cycle and various parts of the cycle. You can see. So then I understood. Now I can dismantle each and every part of the cycle and refit again. So then I understood, the how the bicycle works, and I started making a prototype. Now I'm talking about the prototype. See, so in place of the carbon frame, so we made the bamboo frame, and then we made a prototype and then tested it. So even the testing of joinery we carried out. That means the between the the joinery and then the the bamboo. And our institute, whichever place you are at, it is very important. You have to drive the students towards the innovation. So the first year students, this is like 3-4 years back, wherein they've worked on a wind turbine. 4 of the students are from mechanical department, and 2 of the students for civil engineering department, wherein they made the vertical axis wind turbine, wherein this is the prototype, wherein this vertical axis wind turbine, when the vehicle passes, so these are kept at the median, wherein vehicle passes, this turbine will rotate, and then mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy. It can electrify the street lights. This is the concept. This is the prototype they have made, and the prototype and the model, whatever they have made, they've bagged the second prize at national level in Smart India Hackathon. This is in 2019. So later, these people, the entire prototype and then the entire news has come into ETV also. So then, even in Toykathon is happened in 2021, wherein our students have participated in Toykathon. Wherein, so I'll tell you a simple idea, on which our students have participated. Wherein the gaming is about the rescue of the people during the natural disasters. Rescue of the people during the natural disasters. So the team, so we have reached into finals, but we could not get through. But out of so many ideas, we got into finals. So here the game is very simple, wherein our students have made the game wherein during the natural calamities, the NDRF people will rescue. Okay, so they made the game based on the rules and regulations of NDRF team, and when the calamity happens, so they made the entire game through natural disaster and its rescue, wherein this got into finals, and our people created this game, and we could able to show the importance of the day-to-day calamities and how to rescue the role of NDRF through a game. So you can see here, this is one of the games. Okay. And even our people participated in National Innovation Contest, and very few teams have come into the finals, and our team is also there. So this is a person. It is very interesting. This was when I was working in the BMS IT Bangalore. I started the innovation center there, wherein this boy is used to, he's from information technology department, and I used to take engineering mechanics classes for them. So whenever I gave a problem, he used to give like answer within a few minutes of time. So in free time, he used to play the game. Then I called him and asked. Then he said, "I'm a gamer." His name is Agnay Kaushik. You can type it. He later, so then we encouraged him, wherein he started creating the games later, and he became the entrepreneur. What I mean to say. So this is one of the restaurant project we carried out in Goa. This is one of the bamboo model we have built, restaurant model we have built in Goa. You can see some of the pictures. So here, very interesting innovation we made. The drainage RCC fume pipes. That this particular structure is next to the sea coast to arrest the salinity. We have used the RCC fume pipes as a permanent foundation, permanent footings, and then we poured the concrete inside. You can see the dissolve, and then later on top of that we have built this particular structure. And now a lot of new materials are coming in the market. It is a role of the students and faculty to analyze these new materials for optimization. So there is a lot of role is involved. So coming to what are the various things when you are making a prototype or when you're designing? So you have to follow few things. I would like to explain what are the things you need to, what are the features or things you need to follow when you're making a prototype design or when you're making model or so on and so forth. So literature review is very, very important thing. So you need to see, Google will give you only 5 to 10% of the actual. So you need to go to, you need to refer a lot of journals, books, you need to go to digital library, and your digital library will be having, subscriptions. And also you need to refer a lot of books and come out with, the solution for the problem. And it is also very important to attend or present in a conference. I'll tell you a lot of benefits that are there. So when you share your work, you will get a lot of feedback, and also you will hear latest updates in your field. When you attend a conference in your field, so you will hear a lot of latest updates wherein you can improvise your model, and also you will learn about new field, and you can find new collaborations. You can collaborate with a lot of new people. It is very important to network with people, and you need to prepare 3 to 5 minutes elevator speeches. What we call elevator speech is nothing but when you take a lift or elevator, so you have like 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes time. So in 3 to 5 minutes, how you introduce yourself to the next person is very, very important. So to introduce yourself, you need to have a stuff, right? So you can start with, I'm so and so, I'm from so and so college. Right now I'm doing this, and I have done these projects. Particularly students, I have carried out internship in these areas, and I'm doing currently project on this particular technology. And so on and so forth. So if people are interested, you'll exchange your ideas, and you will network a lot of people. And it is very important to improve your communication. Communication is the key nowadays, and whatever you are presenting, it should be like a story. Okay, it should be clear. Whatever you are saying, it should be logical. It should be concise. What I mean to say is precise. You have to engage the people who are listening to you. They should get engaged. Why you are giving this? Suppose I'm giving it this talk because I'm giving you to how to make a prototype, how to make a model and what are the various features and so on and so forth. So it is very important even when you are going for a class or when you're attending for a conference, it is important to read in advance about whatever you are going to learn. And also please attend whole meeting whenever you are attending, because you don't know, some idea may strike when you are attending the whole meeting. Maybe if you miss, maybe first off, if you attended, after lunch you went out. So after lunch, if there is important topic which is related to your idea, which is coincide with your idea, then you may miss it. So this is very important. That's why you have to attend conferences or seminars. Next is for any person who is into product manufacturing, he should visit various places which you are working on. Suppose I worked on bamboo houses, wherein I have traveled length and breadth of India, particularly Northeast. I traveled almost 30-40 times, wherein I visited various sites which are having different types of houses with different patterns. So it is very important to visit the sites and understand what kind of products that are existing currently. And also you need to understand the long-term performance of the existing products. When you are making a product, suppose this is a house, you are using this particular material. So what is the house already built with that particular material? What is the performance of that particular material? Suppose I'm talking about the bamboo house. So this particular person made a house in 1973. After 25 years, if he dismantled that house, he could able to check the performance of that particular bamboo inside after deplastering. You can see this 1.8 meter span, a person is standing on those bamboo strips. What I mean to say is, what is the long-term performance of a particular product which is already existing, such that you can increase or improve the performance of the product which you are going to make. It is very important to refer or follow the standards and codes. For civil engineers, there is a National Building Code of India 2005, and each and every product you are making, there is an Indian standard code. If not, you can write to it, and if the product should see the light, means in the Indian market, it should have an Indian standard code. Suppose take the helmet. Helmet is having Indian standard code. Indian standards are very, very important. Indian standard code number 1 is our national flag. So each and every product when you are making, you have to follow a certain standards and codes. If it is an export-oriented product, if you are looking at, so you need to follow various norms. Like suppose if you are exporting in Europe, so European standards, it has to satisfy. Similarly, when you are exporting to America, US, it has to satisfy the American standards. So when you are doing the experiments, it is very important to understand and the experimental procedure, and also involve others into your experimental program. Particularly students, I'll suggest you, whenever you are working on a project, involve other group students in your project, and also you yourself involve in other experimental program. You will get to know what are the kind of methods that are there, what kind of testing procedures are there, and so on. It is very important to represent the product or material you are making. That evidence you have to collect before and after experiments. We are poor in documenting. So it is very important before and after experiment, you must take sufficient pictures or sufficient documentation, which will be a kind of a document which will help you out in making the product further. So here you can see here there is a treated bamboo wherein we have tested what happens when you test treated and untreated bamboo. you can see the difference. Untreated bamboo perished after long time. So it is very important to represent the evidence before and after experiment. And whatever you are doing research, you are doing it for society. Any product you make, it should contribute to the society. So always you do a application-oriented research. For example, we have tested trusses, bamboo trusses in our earlier organization, wherein later the test data, we've given it to the industries, wherein in place of steel sheds, people started, putting bamboo trusses, because the cost is almost half the cost. Cost has been reduced almost half the time. And when you're making a product or a model, it is always important to represent. That means 3D visualization is very, very important. So when you work out some kind of, when you make a product, so before making product, if you wanted to pitch your idea, it is easy for anyone if you make a 3D, prototype or 3D drawing, wherein people can understand what is there and what are the various components and how it looks like. So 3D visualization is very, very important when you are making any kind of prototype or product. Symbolic representation is also very important when you are testing it. You can see, for example, we have tested, the crack progress after the test. It has to be documented properly. Safety and usage of equipments when you are involving or your people are involving in making the product, when you are using any kind of laboratory for any of the purpose, it is very important to know the safety precautions in the lab and also how to use this, the equipment, because, drill bits and all these things, without, gloves, you should not use. Laboratory. That is why in our workshops, people say you have to come out with shoe. Any heavy equipment fall on our feet, so it will create a damage to our feet. That is why you always have to go with a shoe in any kind of laboratory. So these are the safety and usage of equipments you should know and you have to follow. So many times based on the availability of materials, you have to design. It is very important. So you have to design accordingly based on the availability of materials. Many times people will complain like, this material is not available. So then you have to look into the alternative to that material and design it. And give importance to even small detailing. I'll tell you a very important story. So this was when a tsunami happened, when we wanted to install the emergency or housing. These prefabricated houses, which bolt to use, the question has arisen which bolt to use, whether to use a lug bolt or hex bolt. So when we tested the lug bolt and hex bolt, for the the performance, our cyclic load experiments, when we did, lug bolt has given more elastic when compared to hex bolt. Hex bolt is brittle in nature; it has got cut immediately. What I mean to say is, even the nut and bolt plays very, very important role, particularly when you are installing emergency housing. So even the small detailing needs to be given importance. And next is, the IoT is becoming more and more prevalent. Nowadays, it has become. So earlier we used to use the temperature sensors. You can see the kind of sensor what we've used 15 years back. And it is very important to associate people wherever, whichever laboratory you are working in, because a lot of technicians will be having lot of information. So you have to laboratory technicians, you need to associate with them, understand how the equipment works when you are testing it. And you always need to check for alternatives. Many people, students will come and complain like, when I'm making this particular product, sir, we are not getting this particular, equipment. So for example, so when we wanted to mix a particular material, grout, we need a Hobart mixer, so which costs around 2 lakhs. So then I send a student to a site wherein how they're doing it. A simple handheld mixer costs 1,500. So they have brought, and so alternative to Hobart mixer of 2 lakhs worth. So they have brought 1,500 rupees of this handheld motor, handheld mixer, and then did the experiments and finished the project. What I mean to say. So you always have to check for alternative. Fabrication is very, very important. Aspect when you're making any kind of product, when you're working on any kind of product. So that's how in workshop you have like a fabrication part. So you need to know like how do you fabricate different things with what kind of materials. It is always do the once you make prototype or model, so you will conduct two things. One is the laboratory trials and full scale trials. It is very important. The initial stages you have to do the laboratory trials, and then once the full scale product is made, you have to go and do the full scale site trials. So these are the students. They make some kind of blocks initially at the laboratory. Then later they've been to the site itself, and then they've carried out the full scale experiments by collaborating with the local industry. What I mean to say is, so initially to get the results, initial experiments you do it at the laboratory, then the full scale trials you always have to do at the site wherever this particular material is being used. So I'm coming to the end of the my presentation, wherein whatever product you make or process you make, finally it has seen light into the market. So once you are confident, you become an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur or entrepreneurship is nothing but is a problem solving. Entrepreneurship is nothing but a problem solving. If enough people are facing a particular issue and willing to pay a price, then if you have a solution in form of product or service, so you can be a startup. So you can become an entrepreneur. So this is the flow chart of the entrepreneurship. You need not worry. Some other companies solving the same issue. You know that you have already Flipkart and you have Amazon, you have a Swiggy, and you have a Zomato. So only thing is how your solution could be differently structured is important. And it is, you need to understand the business functions. And always when you're starting a company, you have to good to start with a co-founder. Always take mentor help to raise investment, because initially to raise the investment, when you pitch your idea, people may not like. It is better to have a mentor initially, how to pitch the idea and how to raise the investment. And I always have a plan for 3 months. What is the plan for next 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, and 12 months? Take feedback from people. It is always important. So this is one example of his Parmeshwaran Iyer. He initially started as a stock market broker. So later he, he got interested into bamboo furniture, and he started learning from 2009 onwards, and he started a small, company. And now he's a National Governing Council member, and he's working on a lot of products and structures all over the India. What I mean to say is a small idea wherein he wanted to start a company. So it is not related initially, but with a passion he has learned how it works, and he has built a lot of structures and a lot of products all over India. You can see he's the other person. He is from National Institute of Design, wherein he makes furnitures which is worth of almost like 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh. So startup involves various important aspects, starting from innovation. And once you innovate, it has to be incubated at your college, and then it has to be mentored by a few people. And you should have a shared or co-working space, and then you need a seed funding. Then you should have a fabrication and testing facilities. Then you start networking with people, and then you do the marketing for your product, and then you accelerate the business. So this is how the aspects of the startup. So we have a lot of startups from our college. We have one, Mr. Suraj Mogluri. He has started with a storage buddy, and now he is doing very well. There is one more person called Karthik. He's from EEE department. He started on his own, and he is doing well. So finally, one has to understand what is the purpose in life. So whatever you are doing. So you want to become rich or famous, or you want to use the power, or live in present, or help others contributing to society. So you need to choose on which side you want it to be. So when you look into the Maslow's hierarchy, this is my last slide. I always say, see, once your basic needs are fulfilled, talking about the basic needs of food, water, rest, that means you have a house. Then you will think about the safety and security. My job is security. Am I living in a good place? Then you started talking about friends and other things. Then once you finish that, you will talk about how do you accomplish certain tasks, how you will recognize in the society. And the final is self-actualization. What is the purpose of life? You will come to it. So this is the hierarchy. So last slide, you always have to think about innovation. So as Abdul Kalam said, thinking is a progress. If you don't think, it will be a stagnation to any individual, either individual to the organization or the country. So thinking leads to action. Knowledge without action is useless. So knowledge with action, it will converts into prosperity. Okay. Thank you so much. And thank you for your patience here. Any